So the diagram shows part of the curve y is equal to 6 over 3x minus 2. I, find the gradient of the curve at the point where x is equal to 2. And double I, find the volume obtained when the shaded region is rotated through 360 degrees about the x-axis, giving your answer in the terms of pi. So the first thing you gotta do, of course, is write it out. So y is equal to 6 over 3x minus 2. You can write it as also 6 open bracket 3x minus 2 to the power of negative 1, because any value found in the denominator, and if you want to move it to the numerator, you'd give it a negative power. So in this case, it will be negative 1. So what we need to do is differentiate it in order to find the gradient, right? So dy by dx, you're going to multiply the coefficient with the power, so 6 times negative 1, which is negative 6. You're going to subtract 1 from the power, so negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to multiply it with the differentiation of whatever is in the bracket. So if you differentiate what's in the bracket, you'd end up getting 3, because if you differentiate a coefficient, it just turns into 0, so you can ignore the 2 there. So you're going to multiply that by 3, right? So then the final thing, or the final differentiation, would be negative 18, open brackets, 3x minus 2 to the power of negative 2. Or you can do negative 18 over 3x minus 2 in brackets squared. Don't mess up the signs of the power when you're moving it around, right? So now they told us to find the gradient when x is equal to 2. So all we're going to do is just substitute x with 2. So negative 18 open brackets 3 times 2 minus 2 to the power of negative 2. And you just pop that into your calculator and you end up getting negative 9 over 8, which is equal to negative 1.25. I'm sorry, I forgot the negative there, but congratulations, we are done with this question. That is a total of 3 marks. So now on to part double I, and they told us, first let's just write it out. So you have this rule where it's like pi and integration y squared dx. So that is when they tell us that it's rotated around the x-axis, and pi integration x squared dy is when it's rotated around the y-axis. So y is equal to 6 over 3x minus 2, as we know. What we got to do right now is square it. So 6 squared over 3x minus 2 in brackets squared. After that, we integrate it, which is basically the opposite of differentiation. And of course, don't forget the pi. What helps me out is moving the denominator up to the numerator. It helps me. I don't know, it's up to you what works for you. But anyways, so what we're going to do now is add 1 to the power, since in the differentiation we subtracted 1. This time we're going to add 1. So it's going to be 36, open brackets, 3x minus 2, minus 1. And then after that, we're going to divide the 36, or the whole thing basically, by the power, which is negative 1, and also divide by the differentiation of what's inside the brackets. Last time we multiplied, this time we're going to divide. So you can put the division by 3 at the end, or you can just place it with the negative 1, but multiplied. So it's negative 1 times 3, right? So anyways, we have to find the two boundaries, which are 2 and 1, and we're going to place it in our little equation. So 2 and 1, okay. So now I'm just going to write it out. So 36 divided by negative 3 will give you negative 12 over 3x minus 2, and it's to the power of 1, so you don't have to write it out. Anyway, so all we have to do now is substitute the x with the two values that we have, which is 2 and 1. So you're going to place the highest number first minus the lower number. So negative 12 over 3 times 2 minus 2 minus negative 12 over 3 times 1 minus 2. And that will give you negative 3 pi, don't forget the pi, minus negative 12 pi, and negative minus negative gives you a positive, right? So the final answer is 9 pi. Congratulations, we are done with this question. That was a total of 5 marks. Bye!